And it's that time again. It is your daily crypto news time. My name is Matt, and it's Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. I hope you're having a great morning. Let's get into today's news. So the top news and my headlines today is Polkadot, because Polkadot is under fire after releasing details of its spending in the first half of 2024. Apparently, they spent $37 million on marketing, and nobody knows how it was spent. Where did it go? We don't see Polkadot. We don't hear about Polkadot. But $37 million. That accounted for 42% of Polkadot's expenses. Their spending was released in a report, and one of the report's authors, who goes by the pseudonym Jeeper, obviously, is if you're going to be releasing reports about how you're spending $37 million, you're not going to tell anybody your real name. You're just going to say, hey, I'm just this dude that's telling you how much we spent. And I kind of joke with this, but these are billion-dollar networks, and you're not having your name in the books and the reports that you're putting out about your spending. That's just ridiculous. But Jeeper says that all networks have similar spending, but they're happening behind closed doors, and no one can see what they're paying and to whom. So they're praising the transparency of this. Apparently, Polkadot spent $180,000 to slap its logo on an entire fleet of Europe-based private jets for 6 months, saying that they're trying to reach their target demographic. They also spent $400,000 on an animated version of its logo on CoinMarketCap. That seems like something I could do for a couple bucks on Canva. And they also spent $5 million on influencers, also known as KOLs or Key Opinion Leaders, to get the word out. Last year, Polkadot's parent company, Parity Technologies, blindsided its staff when they announced most of them will be laid off ahead of the company's retreat. And then this year, number go up, and they're spending $37 million on marketing instead of stashing a little bit of cash away for maybe keeping their employees on during a bear market. I don't know. What do you think? Matt at dailycryptonews.net. Heading back to the Binance in Nigeria story. This has been going on for far too long, and I'm starting to feel really bad for these executives that are held in Nigeria. So the family of Tigran Gambaryan, he's a senior executive at Binance, being held in a Nigerian jail. He said that he's suffering immensely as the country's prison officials refuse to release health records despite court orders. Gambaryan's deteriorating health condition has become one of the focal points of the ongoing legal battle between Binance and Nigerian authorities. He has complained of numbness in his foot as well as back pain. He has had double pneumonia and malaria while in prison. His lawyers informed the court that on July 1st, despite several court orders, the officials of the Kuje prison in Nigeria's capital of Abuja, where Gambaryan is being held, has yet to release his medical records from his visit to the hospital on June 3rd. His wife has spoken out and said it's time for the Nigerian authorities to do the right thing and release my innocent husband. We'll keep you informed as we know more about this, but this is getting egregious. Moving to some Bitcoin mining news. Bitcoin mining company CleanSpark agreed to buy fellow miner Grid in an all-stock deal valued at $155 million to expand its operations from Georgia and Mississippi to neighboring Tennessee. CleanSpark said in a press release that it will assume all outstanding debt and other obligations of Grid and provide it with $5 million working capital. They will also pay down the bridge loan of $50.9 million at the time of signing. CleanSpark says it anticipates surpassing 100 megawatts in Tennessee by the end of this year and increasing that to 200 megawatts by 2025 and exceeding 400 megawatts in 2026. CleanSpark said that its Q1 net income was around $126.7 million compared to a loss of $18.5 million in Q1 of last year. And Bitcoin miner Genesis Digital Assets plan to raise a pre-IPO funding round within the next few weeks. The company has raised over $550 million from investors since 2021, and it's valued at over $5.5 billion in its latest funding round. Genesis Digital Assets is one of the largest Bitcoin mining firms operational today, with 20 data centers across North America, Europe, South America, and Central Asia. The firm has a total power capacity of 500 megawatts and 150,000 miners online. If you woke up today, you would see that number went down. Womp, womp, womp. Not too happy about it. And you're probably wondering why. And traders are currently betting against Bitcoin while anticipating gains for Ethereum ahead of the launch of an Ethereum spot traded ETF. Option traders are buying ETH call options and using Bitcoin as a hedge. And all other people are looking at Mt. Gox and how they soon could be repaying its creditors, which means that $9.2 billion worth of Bitcoin could soon hit the market. These traders are saying long Ethereum, short Bitcoin. But there's still optimism remaining for Bitcoin's price long term. Despite the current bearish sentiment, traders expect Bitcoin to reach around $100,000 by the end of the year. But in the meantime, Bitcoin fell below $60,000 as we saw, and that wiped out around $8.4 million worth of long contracts in just an hour. Investors have been in a risk-off holding pattern, preferring treasury bonds over riskier assets like stocks and cryptocurrency, while the Federal Open Markets Committee has kept a target interest rate at 5.25% to 5.5% since July of 2023, so a year at those high interest rates. Powell is not going to be lowering these interest rates anytime soon, in my opinion, and he kind of says the same thing. He says, I'm not going to do it because, frankly, quote, because the U.S. economy is strong and the labor market is strong. We have the ability to take our time and get this right. Powell also added that if he lowered the interest rates, it might, in quote, undo the good work they've done to bring down inflation. And so what basically these traders are doing is they are getting their capital ready to ape into an Ethereum spot ETF, knowing that Bitcoin might move down or sideways for the time being because of the vacuum effect that this Ethereum is going to have, the spot ETF is going to have. And on the short term, they want to have capital to trade it. So they will probably make a lot of money and then pump it back into Bitcoin. And finally, poly markets. I'm going to go back there again because it's actually quite interesting. Vice President Kamala Harris, she is surging in the poly markets. Basically, who's going to be the Democratic nominee of 2024. Everybody was saying Joe Biden, but in the past 24 hours, she has surged in the poly markets prediction trading from 7% chance to a 36% chance. Michelle Obama is at 6%, and Gavin Newsom is only at 4%. I think a lot of the surge for Kamala Harris is because former Congressman and Senate candidate Tim Ryan, he came out against Joe Biden to be president and says Harris should take his place. Haven't heard from you about this. What do you think should happen? Are you betting on poly markets? Let me know. Matt at dailycryptonews.net. Let's get into these crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Fear Greed's at 48. We're still neutral. Bitcoin sitting at $60,212, down 4.2% in 24. And Ethereum's at $3,300, down 4.4%. Tether's number 3, Binance is at 556, down 4%. And Solana's at 143, down 4.7%. Running off the top 10, we have USDC, XRP, which is at 47.5 cents, down 2.5%. Toncoin at $7.83, down 2.9%. Dogecoin at 11.8 cents, down 4.3%. And Cardano at 40.6 cents, down 2.2%. Total market cap is down 4.2% at $2.2 trillion. Bitcoin dominance of 53.3 and ETH dominance of 17.8. That's our show. That's our news. Those are the prices. My name is Matt. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, happy hodling, everyone.